Hey, hosters, we're here at Black Lab Brewing in East Side Toronto today, and we're going to check out their wares, see what they have to offer.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this. We sampled some of their stuff at the iHeart Beer Festival a few weeks back.
Absolutely.
And we're impressed, so we came to the source.
Yeah. Here we go. Let's go check it out. Well, we're here at Black Lab Brewing in East Side Toronto, and we're here with Billy Madden, owner-operator. He's just going to show us around and take us on a quick tour of what the brewery looks like when you show up.
So your first stop is going to be our retail shop. All of our beer available in the fridge, as well as some merchandise, some dog swag, dog treats, poop holders, t-shirts, glasses, everything for your beer drinking needs. Follow me into the tap room. This is our very dog-friendly tap room. Seat about 80 people in here. And dogs, of course.
All right, so we're here today at Black Lab Brewing in Toronto, Ontario. And we're here talking with Billy Madden.
Owner, operator.
Yeah, all of the above.
Yeah.
Delivery guy, social media, accountant, everything.
All right.
Man of many hats.
I try.
As it is, in small breweries, I'm assuming. You wear a lot of those hats in that sort of situation, as opposed to going up against like Molson's and the big guy.
Exactly, yeah. I wouldn't have it any other way. Like, you have to be so involved. You have to hustle. You have to know every aspect of the business to make it work.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So how'd you get started? How did things get rolling for you?
Yeah.
Why a brewery? Like,
Why not?
I mean, that's always our answer too. But
That's the answer to almost all of life's questions.
Yeah.
No, I was in a really high-stress career before this. I was working with brain injury pediatrics.
Oh, wow.
So I was, recovery for brain injuries for pediatrics. It's really tough. You take a lot of that home with you. You see a lot of horrible cases, car accidents, children who've lost their parents. It's really tough. So my release was going out to a new bar or a new brewery. I mean, this was just roughly 6-7 years ago when breweries started popping up a little bit more. So there's a lot to explore. I'd go out and have a beer or two, just fell in love with the culture, fell in love with beer, but more so really the people. One of the best stories I have is Eric Portwance used to own or part owner of Halo, became one of my good friends, and he opened up his books. He showed me everything, how to do this. He basically became like a consultant, but for free.
nice.
And I don't know any other industry where you can have that.
Where you have that sort of camaraderie.
Yeah,
Like, hey,
like your competition is going to give you a hand to get up and running. But that's what craft brewery is. We all understand the better we all do as a collective, the better we all do, right? We take a market share from the big three and spread it amongst ourselves.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Nice.
My ex-wife at the time is a corporate lawyer. She still is. So we had some money to play around with, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm so burnt out. I want to do something different. And really, I just wanted a place, once I fell in love with the industry, I just wanted a place where I could drink a beer with my dog by my side.
Yeah.
And it didn't exist.
Yeah,
Right? There was
exactly.
nobody who was doing it, at least not officially.
No, and that actually brings up a really good point. The fact that this is a dog-friendly brewery.
Dog-centric brewery, yeah. Almost everything we do here is about the dogs.
Tell us a little bit more about that if you have any.
Yeah, I mean, if you look around, we have a dog water station over there. On the walls, we have carabiner, so you can hook up your dog.
Yep.
Obviously, out back, it's super dog friendly.
Yeah, and me in here.
Yeah, my dog's right here beside me right now. We have dog treats at the bar.
Yeah.
So if you want to come in, owners get a beer, dog gets a treat as well at the same time. Yeah, I mean,
That's great.
It's really a truly social place to come. I mean,
absolutely, yeah. And when I was building it, I was building it for me personally. I wanted a place where I could drink really great beer and have my dog by my side.
Yep.
And it's scary. Like you're building something that doesn't exist, thinking, I'm normal. People are going to want what I want. People will come, right? And I'm like, even if they don't, well, at least I have a place I can have my dog with me and I can drink beer.
Yep.
And yeah, we opened our doors and it was packed from day one.
That's fantastic.
It's been amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, our biggest fear always was that dog owners wouldn't be sensical. Mm-hmm. So common sense isn't very common, but in our case, most of the dogs that come in here, I would say 99% of them are well behaved, well trained. The owners are awesome. And at the end of the day, it's craft beer and dogs. It's the best of both worlds. You get really great people. You have great fun. Our backyard has just become a social hub for the community. It's been so much fun. It's been
I see that too. In the back, you've got that big sort of the beer garden.
Yeah.
Now, did that start right from the beginning, or?
No, that's one of the few benefits we have from COVID.
Okay.
That was one of the changes that we were allowed to do, is actually have a beer garden on our private property.
Nice.
So yeah, right away, as soon as we were allowed to do that, because obviously the restrictions, you weren't allowed to drink inside, you have to be 6 feet apart, all those things. But the beer garden has been a lifesaver, and yeah, we've kept it going. It's been amazing.
No. I mean, it looks like a great space. Obviously, outdoors for the dogs too is probably a good place for them to kind of move around a little bit too.
Yeah. Bit more room. Yeah.
To follow up on that COVID question, because if I understand correctly, when COVID hit, you were still a fairly young brewery, right?
Yeah, we opened
so that
up.
must have been really hard to get through as a new business.
Yeah, well, especially because I had to convince my ex-wife to actually do this for me, so we invested a lot of money.
Yeah.
We took over the lease here in March 2018, and because it's just our money, we busted our asses to get this place open. So October 18th, I think it was, we opened our doors. So less than 6 months later, we were open.
That's
When you figure everything that has to go into this place, pouring new concrete slabs, drainage, everything we had to do.
Yeah.
We got it open very quickly because we needed to be open.
Yeah.
We needed to start recovering some of that money.
Yeah.
And then, of course, a year and a half later, COVID hits. March 17th, I think it was.
Yeah.
That weekend, we shut down everything.
Everything shut down.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you start a new business, you have a 5-year plan. My wife was on board. Things are going great, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So
comes an 8-10 year plan now, right?
yeah. Unfortunately, we have a 7-year lease here, so I think our 5-year plan will run past that.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, it's beer and it's dogs. You can't go wrong. Like, yeah, there's no stress that can't alleviate.
No. That's true.
Of course.
Yeah. Actually, I wanted to ask you about. We saw it coming up is a brewer that you used to offer, Kit Kat.
Yeah,
the Kit Kat Stout.
We had a Kit Kat Stout, yes.
Oh, the Stout, yeah. So tell us a little bit about that and what sort of maybe the behind the scenes business.
How many Kit Kats did you need to buy, right?
You honestly don't want to know. So like everything we do here is very a manual process. We're not a big brewery. The Kit Kat was one that we thought about doing before Halloween.
Yep.
And then realized the cost of Kit Kat would just be too expensive. We reached out to Nestle, reached out to a few people to see if we can get some for free.
Yep.
Like do a collab with them, and it wasn't happening. So honestly, we actually just waited till after Halloween, went to the Loblaws and just bought all of their stock because it was all discounted, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So we came back, we had, I don't even know, half a pallet of Kit Kat bars that we unwrapped by hand, crunched them up, threw them in the fermenter. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
And like, did it taste the way you hoped it would?
Yeah, I mean,
in my mind, that's delicious.
Right.
Yeah, it really was. It was really, really good. A lot of the sugar gets fermented out, so you don't have a lot of that residual sweetness.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that chocolate flavor, the wafer, that breadiness that you get from the wafers came through really, really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, we've done a lot of really cool collabs, things like that. Craig's Cookies, we made a chocolate chip cookie dough stout.
Okay.
That was a lot of fun too. So Craig's Cookies is a cookie store here in the city. He's got multiple locations. Actually, he has one in Halifax now, I believe. Nice. But he came in during COVID, gave us, I think it was 200 pounds of cookie dough. Threw that into the fermenter as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But again, everything we do is by hand. So it took a long time. It's a labor of love. But it comes through. It definitely comes through.
Do you have, in that realm, do you have a favorite of all the brews that you've made? Do you have like one that's like your all-time peak favorite?
I have
this
a
one was
few.
awesome. We should be still making it, but or are you? I mean,
yeah, we still are. Yeah, one of the good things about being the owner is that if I like something, I can always ask for it to come back. So yeah, there's a few that I really, really love. I mean, Echo is one of my favorite IPAs.
Okay.
I tend to be more of an IPA drinker.
Yep.
I drink all styles, but IPA tends to be my more go-to.
Sure.
So Echo, double dry hopped IPA,
Okay.
really great. I am not particularly fond of coffee. I don't like that astringent, that bitterness, that coffee flavor.
Yep.
So most dark beers do have that. So I've actually asked my brewer to make me a Dunkel, which is another German dark lager, but without that coffee, without that roastiness.
Yeah.
So that's also one of my favorites. That's on a rotational basis here. It comes out maybe every 3-4 months.
Okay.
I love our sour series too. Our sour series is always something different.
Sure.
You'll see this later, I'm assuming, but we have 1,000 liter fermenters, so we make a very small batch each time.
Yeah.
And our sours basically sell it every month. So almost on the month, it's a new sour flavor coming out.
Okay.
So for Valentine's Day, we do a cinnamon heart sour.
Ooh.
So we actually dump a pail of cinnamon hearts into the batch. For Easter, we do jelly bean sour. So again, same thing, jelly beans. So our sour series is also a lot of fun. We tend to be very traditional, very German, Belgian focused here. Not so much doubles and triples, but a lot of those classic German styles, Kolsch, Dunkel.
Yep.
So we don't have a whole lot of play. We try to keep everything very according to the way the beer is supposed to be made. But with a sour series, you can really play
You
around.
kind of play with it.
Yeah, that's our fun time.
Do you have any interesting stories then about like any maybe brew that came out
Something that went wrong,
or different than what you expected, but maybe still turned out for
Happy
better for worse,
accidents.
you know, kind of like thing.
Yeah, we did a kind of a collab with Lindt chocolate. So again, another chocolate stout that we did.
Chocolate stuff. This guy's talking about language.
Your language. I don't even drink them, so I do taste everything, so I know what I'm talking about. The Lindt chocolate one was fun. I reached out to Lindt. They were gracious enough to send us, I think it was 60 pounds of baking chocolate.
Nice.
So like, great, perfect. So we threw it into the fermenter. We did not know that specific type of chocolate doesn't dissolve.
Oh,
So it just floated, and then when we crashed the fermenter, all the chocolate just sank and coagulated into a big clump at the bottom of the fermenter.
Wow.
So that was tough to get out.
oh,
But the flavor was still there, thankfully. We got a lot of that chocolate
Okay.
flavor. We also topped it up with chocolate nibs afterwards to make sure we got enough chocolate out of it, but that was a mistake. That was a fun one.
So homebrewers take note. Don't use Lindt chocolate.
No, they do have another type of chocolate that actually works.
Okay.
So when we went
did you
back,
try it again? Yeah.
not yet.
Okay.
We did go back to them and say, hey, listen, like what happened? And they were like, well, what were we using it for? Well, obviously we're brewing. They're like, oh, well, no, that's not the chocolate you should have gotten.
Okay.
Oh, so, yeah, so next time.
So next time, that's all right. But
It
it sounds
will
like
come
you
back.
want another collab. So
Yeah. Actually, they were here on Monday, just doing work from the brewery day.
Nice.
So they were all out on Monday. Yeah. Yeah.
missed it. So shit came on.
They did bring chocolates for us, so that was nice too.
That was like that's cool.
Yeah. Other mess ups. Yeah, I mean, when we first opened up, one of the first brews we did on our full system was the Cornerstone Black Lager, which you tried at the beer fest when
Yeah.
we first met.
Oh, that was
Obviously, temperature control is very important when you're brewing, and we didn't know this, but our temperature gauge inside the mash tun was up against the side, and as everything was spinning around, it got caked over, so it wasn't reading the temperature properly. So we actually never hit the right temperature that we were supposed to get to. So yeah, with that batch we had to dump.
You just had to dump it.
Yeah, but in the 6 years that we've been brewing, we've only dumped twice.
That's phenomenal. That's good.
Really good, really good. Connor, who's our brewer, is just amazing.
I was going to ask you, maybe tell us a little bit about your brewmaster.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, he started homebrewing,
Okay.
won some awards for an IPA he brewed, went over to work for Molson,
Nice.
and then was working for another brewery here in the city when I met him.
Okay.
I love our working relationship because I can trust him complicitly. I've given him full range to do whatever he wants, brew with it, whatever ingredients you need to brew with, and just tell me what the cost is at the end. And I've said this since day one, you give an artist a blank canvas and stand back and watch,
Yeah.
you're going to get the best product.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that, yeah, he's been fantastic. And I've said this to him since the beginning too. If it's not to your standard, don't look at me. If you will not stand behind this beer you've made, talk to me. We'll dump it if we have to. And we've done it twice.
That's a
Yeah.
great relationship to have with someone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm just so proud and so protective of our brand and our relationship and our ratings, our reviews, our Google reviews, everything, that I will not push out a bad beer. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
So-
That's fantastic. No, that's a great great relationship there. Do you sit down with him and like do like a
Yeah.
group
Yeah.
meeting saying, okay, so we're interested in trying some of this. What do you think? Like, how does that process work?
I think the biggest inspiration we get is from other breweries.
Okay.
I travel quite a bit. I'm always going to different breweries. Whenever I'm out and about, I always bring something back.
Yeah.
So we'll sit down, we'll crack a few beers during the day and say, hey, what do you think about this one? And that'll sort of be the base of what we're going to do next, or our inspiration. And then we'll tweak it based on what we're doing, maybe what ingredients we have in store, what's seasonal.
You probably have to come back to you and say, "This is what I need to make it
Yeah.
work." Kind of like,
Oh, this
Yeah.
is great, but could you imagine it with a bit of pineapple in it?
It's
Speaking of which, you and your
that's
pineapple.
exactly what it
Pineapple
looks
is
like.
It's a good market to have.
Yeah, pineapple. There's a few fruits that we'd love to try and do, just that they don't take very well, like watermelon. Watermelon it's almost impossible. It's all water-based, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So watermelon, cucumber, all those kind of fruits, strawberry. That's one aspect. And then the other aspect is the costs. Like everything in life, it's gone up exponentially.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think it was raspberry. When we first started brewing pre-pandemic,
Yep.
a tub of raspberry was like $60. Now it's shot up to 270, and we use 6 of them. So you're looking at, instead of $360 worth of adjuncts and additives, we're
Yep.
going over 1,500, and we're making 1,000 liters at a time. So that's over $1 per liter more.
Yeah.
it just becomes cost prohibitive. Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you talk to us a little bit about your brewing process? Like maybe some of the things that he does to prepare some of the ingredients. Like what's involved in that for maybe some of the noobs that are out there, kind of like, okay, what goes,
Like, what is this tank? I see them in breweries. Right? What is that thing? What happens in that?
That's a money pit. That's what that is. Yeah, we can talk about that. I know the brewing process slightly. I've never homebrewed, I never brewed myself, but just owning this, I kind of get the general gist of it. Yeah, I mean, we were lucky that when we built this place, we built it very linearly. So all of our grain, all of our malts, everything we get delivered goes outside in a big storage bin, and then it comes in. The first step of the process is our big mash tun. So we throw all of our grain in there, whip it around, get it to a certain temperature, transfer that over to our kettle, bring it up almost to a boil.
Yep.
And then transfer to one of the fermenters. So we've got 6 fermenters, all glycol chilled, double jacketed. So our temperature control is on point. It's all controlled by a master control panel back in the corner. Yeah, and then get transferred over, depending on what kind of style we're brewing, whether it's a cold ferment, warm ferment, lagers versus ales. Then it gets transferred over to our bright tank, which is the last step of the process.
Sure.
Sits there, gets carbonated, and then over to our packaging, and you'll see eventually our fridge, our retail shop. So everything is in very much a line.
Right. So sure. I guess it makes production a lot easier for you.
Exactly.
It sort of streamlines things a little bit.
Yeah. I'm
great.
very focused on
Fantastic stuff.
efficiency. So. Yeah, and Connor appreciates it too because he doesn't have to travel very far with big bags of grain. Everything's in a line. Everything's as close as it can be to where it needs to be.
Yep. Style-wise, I mean, I love these. I love these tables, and
Thank you.
I mean, it sort of makes it's kind of cool because it sort of makes use of the industry space itself as well.
Exactly.
Right? So I mean, what were your thoughts on when you came to the design factor of like how do we want to lay this out besides just the facilitating the brewing process? When getting people to come in for like the brewery, come and sit down with their dogs, what have you. What sort of thoughts maybe went into that?
Right. Well, knowing that we were going to be dog friendly, we wanted to keep everything a little bit more industrial.
Yep.
We can't just bring in leathers and cloths because we know it's going to get ruined.
Yep.
So we kept everything very industrial. Like all these tables, they're spalted maple. I built them myself.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I took.
They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
And it's coming in through the front door, you come in, you see all of this wood and the black, and it works.
Yeah. Our feeling was always black and white, keep everything very neutral, with pops of color and plants everywhere as well, and very just natural organic woods. Just keep things natural. Almost.
Yeah. And I want to say I was looking at it, just coming at it from almost like a sort of couple of hosers in a cabin, so to speak. I mean, it has that tie back to nature still is. I think it really sells the space.
Yeah.
Really,
and again, we're a functioning brewery, so you can see there's no barriers for the brew house. You can see everything that we're doing. We're wide open. So
yeah.
And then obviously the beer garden is just again very organic, lots of plants, a huge wall with ivy on it. Wood picnic tables, and then obviously throw in some pops of color with the Muskoka chairs. And then our mural painted for Snoopy. So it's all themed on those famous paintings of dogs playing poker. We've got Snoopy at the head of the table with all of his friends seated around having a beer.
So, in terms of, I know you said you had a 5-year plan, but where do you maybe see Black Lab Brewing in, say, 20 years? Like within that scope? Like, which the...
To be honest, this was always built to be a local community brewery. We don't have expansion plans. We're not trying to take over the world.
Yep.
We're trying to do what we're doing
And do it great.
and do it the best way we possibly can. We got so lucky that was our business plan. Had we tried to expand or had we taken on more debt, increase our fermenters, because business was very good before COVID. Had we leveraged ourselves to that point, when COVID hit, we would be out of business right now. So it's funny, I always joke, but Biggie had it right. Like more money, more problems.
Yep.
So keep it simple, stupid, do what we're doing, focus on
gets
that.
method, right? Yeah.
And it's actually paying off, I think. People know who we are. We're not trying to be something different. They know what they can expect when they come in these doors. It's always going to be the same thing with really great beer, lots of fun for the dogs. And that's all we ever wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a great open environment.
And I'm a one-person show too, right? I have great staff behind me. I'm smart enough to know what I don't know. So hire people who know what they're doing. You pay them for their skill sets and let them run with it.
And then to go to it.
Yeah. It's. Well, I'll leave you with one last quote. When I opened this place, I always told my staff, I don't want a yes man. I don't want 6 people in a car with me and I'm driving the wrong way down a one-way street and all of you are in the back going, keep going, you're doing great. I'm paying you for your expertise that I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm doing something wrong, we'll fix it.
Yeah, we'll fix it. We will.
And it's been amazing.
I think just one final question is, aside from the brewery itself, is there any place where people can sample your wares?
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we have an online website, so you can shop online, ship anywhere within the province of Ontario, come into the brewery as well, or in lots of bars and restaurants. I'm still a one-man show, so I do all of our deliveries, all of our sales calls, all of that cold calling.
Yeah.
So we're not in a whole lot of places, but again, we're in the best of the best. So Fairmont Royal York, one of the major hotels here in the city, carries our beer. Thai food here in the city, Michelin star rated restaurant carries our beer. So a lot of really great bars and restaurants throughout the city.
and I think, and you know, that folds back to your, you know, that community involvement, the community brewery type thing too. That's awesome. And the fact that you're shipping province-wide?
Province-wide.
Province-wide, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, folks, if you want to order his wares, having sampled some at the iHeart Beer Festival, absolutely fantastic to check out. We're obviously going to be checking out some more here pretty soon.
Thanks to Billy and everyone here at Black Lab.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for inviting
Great.
us in and opening up your space to us. And well, we'll see you in a few moments. All right, hosers. That was what an experience, eh?
Yeah. Black
Absolute, solid brewery. Folks, if you're ever in the east side of Toronto, please come check out Black Lab Brewing Inc.
Corner of Leslie Street and Eastern Ave.
Yep. Fantastic selection, always changing up there. There's sort of a small brewery.
Yep.
And
Committed
short
to
run.
being a small brewery.
Exactly, and it shows in the product. Honestly, they are not letting down. They are showing their craftsmanship come right through on every beer, every craft.
We just sampled 10 different beers, and we're going home with 3 more.
Actually, 4 more.
Yeah, that's right.
4 more. 'Cause
Yeah.
a couple of bottles.
They had a couple still in the tap or the bottle room that weren't on tap yet. So
Exactly.
we picked
So-
those up for another episode.
Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.
Black Lab with my friends. Good beer never ends. Dogs bark, happy tunes, sunny afternoons. Black Lab.